Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. I am Felrus, sailing the seas of Raid Shadow Legends, and today we're going to be going over some of the very best continuous heal champions in the game, which ones I like the most, why I like them, and where they can be used. Now guys, there are a couple continuous heal champs in the game that I like more than any other, and we're going to get to that later on in the video, so stick around if you want to see which champions do the most. Now, I've got a couple contestants here. I'm going to go ahead and choose Bad-el-Kazar. Now, Bad-el-Kazar is a great continuous heal champ. Hold up! Click the link in the description below right now to get a free legendary champion, Bambus 4-leaf, as well as one amazing free epic as you level up. Here are the exact steps you need to follow. 1. Log out of Plarium Play on your PC. If you've never had Raid installed on your mobile phone before, the link will work there too. 2. Click the link in the description and start a brand new Raid Shadow Legends account with a brand new email. 3. Launch Raid and complete your tutorial. 4. You can find Bambus 4-leaf here as well as Ugo at level 15. This is an amazing account start in Raid Shadow Legends, so be sure to use my link in the description below right now. On his A2 here, removes all debuffs from all allies, so he has a full cleanse, places 2 continuous heal buffs on all allies for 2 turns, places 2 poison debuffs on all enemies for 2 turns, so he's got some damage and he's got some healing, and that's on a 3-turn cooldown, which is very nice. His A1 also has a heal. He has an AoE A1 that heals this champion and all allies by 20% of the damage inflicted. Of course, you can book that heal up even farther. Now, he's a very simple champion, right? He's got a passive that inflicts 20% more damage against targets under poison debuffs. Now, he's a very simple champion, right? But he puts out a lot of healing, a lot of continuous heal. He's not just for DPS, not just for seer activation teams. He is a healer and a very, very competent healer. Now, as far as a relic is concerned, I like that aberration relic from the live arena group that makes him ignore defense, get a little more damage off this A1, increase the healing that he can put out with it, right? And for a blessing, we've got Brimstone on him. Because he's doing an AoE A1, it only makes sense that we do Brimstone, just get some more damage out from our Bad-el-Kazar. Now, she's our first contestant. Our second contestant is Elva Autumnborn. Oh my goodness, I love this champion so much. So on her A1, she attacks one enemy with a continuous heal for 2 turns on the ally with the lowest HP. That's an insanely good A1. On her A2 here, has a 75% chance, books to 100% chance of removing all debuffs from all allies, places a block debuffs buff and a increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. So this is another cleanser. She's also got block debuffs and speed up as well. And then on her A3, it's a revive. It revives a target ally with 40% HP and 50% turn meter, then places increased defense and increased attack on that ally for 2 turns, also on a 3-turn cooldown. And then her passive here, he heals each ally by 10% of their max HP at the start of their turn, places a perfect veil buff for 1 turn on the ally with the lowest HP at the end of this champion's turn. So she's basically going to come in, put a bunch of healing out with her A1, with her passive, cleanse everybody, block debuffs, and increase the speed of the entire team. And then if anyone dies, she'll just pick them up. It's insane. It's insane. And then she has a 19% speed aura. Now, the next contestant on the list, we're going to be testing 4 of these, maybe 5. We might throw Rector in the mix here, but one who I think is underrated is going to be Noct the Paralyzer. Noct has a decreased accuracy on his A1, which is very nice. On his A2, he attacks all enemies with a 75% chance, books to a 100% chance of placing sleep for 1 turn, and 5% poison debuffs for 2 turns. On the passive effect, places 2 additional 5% poison debuffs for 2 turns whenever a sleep debuff placed by this skill is removed or disappears after an enemy takes damage. Then on the A3, places a ally protection buff, a big version, on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. Also places a continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. And then on his passive, this is where his real healing comes in. Heals this champion by 3% of their max HP, and all allies except this champion by 1% of this champion's max HP every time a poison debuff ticks on an enemy. Whenever an ally is attacked while under an ally protection buff, has a 40% chance of placing a sleep debuff on the attacker for 1 turn. Very, very, very nice. And then, of course, we have Grand Oak Padraig here. You know, we are going to do 5 because I think I know where exactly we can use a team using all of these champions. Padraig here has a decreased cooldown A1, so he attacks one enemy with a 50% chance when booked of decreasing the cooldown of a random ally's active skill by 2 turns. On the A2, this is where the continuous heals are. Teams up with all allies to attack a single enemy. The allies joining the attack will use their default skills. Also fully restores all allies destroyed max HP, then places a 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. Then on the A3 here, fills the turn meters of all allies by 20%, then removes debuffs from all allies and places a 30% increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. And then the passive, of course, buffs by type every single turn. Increase attack for attack champs, increase defense for defense champs, increase accuracy for support champs, and shield for HP champs. All right, so there is Grand Oak Padraig. Now we're also going to do Rector Drath, right? A1 with a decrease attack. Her A2 is where the continuous heals are. Heals all allies by 20% of this champion's max HP after healing. Places a perfect veil buff for 2 turns on all allies with full HP. Places a 15% continuous heal buff for 1 turn instead on all allies with less than 100% HP. Revives a single ally with 60% HP and fills their turn meter by 60%. Places a perfect veil buff on them for 3 turns on her A3 there. And then on her passive, whenever an ally under Veil or Perfect Veil gets a turn, heals them by 10% of their max HP. Also increases the resistance of allies under Veil or Perfect Veil by 50. Will only increase resistance once per ally if there are multiple Rector Drath on the same team. Very, very good champion. So where can we use all of these champs in a single team just to see who is doing more healing? Well, that would be Ice Golem. So we can go in on Ice Golem normal, Ice Golem stage 20. Because we are using a lot of poisons here, we can go ahead and choose Elva as our leader so that we get a little bit of a speed boost. Oh boy, we're gonna have to filter by buff again. Filter by buff again. All right, continuous heal. There we go. So we're gonna go ahead, Elva, Bad-el-Kazar. All right, we're gonna keep it fair. Let's pick the slower Padraig just so that we're in a bit of a similar speed range. Our poisons are gonna be our DPS, of course, and we're just gonna see who exactly can put out the most healing here. So we're gonna go ahead and probably get back to you at the end screen because I don't. This is gonna be a slow run. It's all this is for. This is not like a optimized Ice Golem team. All this is for is just to show you guys the amount of healing that these different champs can do. So we're gonna come back to you at the end of the run. All right, guys, here we are at the end of the run. You can see there was a lot of healing done. There was a lot of healing done at this run, right? So we've got Elva. You can't see because of my chair, unfortunately, but she's got 1.6 million done in healing. Bad-el coming in with 2.7 million in healing. Noct coming in with 1.5 million in healing. Podreg with 700,000 in healing, and Rector Drath with 1.4 million in healing. So guys, you can see all of these guys are phenomenal healers. We gotta test them in some other content, right? Right now, Bad-el is stealing the bacon by like almost double. He is almost putting out double the healing that all the rest of these guys are. Now, as much as I like Elva, you gotta hand it to Bad-el here. Bad-el doing the most healing out of anyone on the squad. So it does happen that I also use Podreg, Elva, and Bad-el in Chimera. So we're gonna run through a couple Chimera turns just to see who does the most healing here in Chimera. Guys, as you can see, the team is going to be Bad-el, Queen of Hearts, Podreg, Calamitous, and Elva. We're going to go through, I think, 5 boss turns, just so that I can kind of explain what's going on. We won't do a whole run or anything, and then we're going to go ahead and end the fight. So, Queen is the fastest champion on the squad. She goes in with the drop defense there. Bad-el bringing the brimstone. We've got the block debuffs. We've got the cleanse. We've got all the continuous heals. We've got more continuous heals from Grand Oak Podreg. Now, I will say Grand Oak Podreg is at a bit of a disadvantage. He is a fantastic healer, but he's not, like, that's not his primary role, so he doesn't have as many skills or anything that heals as some of these other healers. So we're gonna find the best healer on my account, and I think it has to be Bad-el-Kazar. Right now, it's looking at like it's going to be Bad-el-Kazar, right? Of course, Rector Drath doing a bunch of healing and Noct doing a bunch of healing as well. They're by no means bad, but guys, do not sleep on your Bad-els. If he can out-heal an Elva, like, you're set. You're set and good. Elva's great, though, because of the block debuffs and the decreased speed. But Bad-el is also bringing a full cleanse, right? He's also bringing a full cleanse, which is really, really good. Okay, so we've got 2 turns on the Chimera. We're doing 1 million damage so far. I do like Corvus instead of Bad-el for this boss just because he'll put out a little more damage and we're missing a DPS. But as far as healing goes, like, I think Bad-el is fantastic, and we're going to see why in just a second, right? We're going to see why in just a second. Like, yeah, guys, definitely do not underrate Bad-el. He could, given the Ice Golem run, I bet he's the best healer on my account. You know, I bet he's the best healer on my account, bar none. I mean, he almost doubled Elva's healing, right? He almost doubled Elva's healing, and Elva is such a fantastic healer, right? Elva is such a fantastic healer. Imagine what Bad-el could do at like 300 speed. He's not at 300 speed right now. He's approaching 270, which is about where I like my supports these days. However, if he was at 300 speed with accuracy, imagine, like, the team would never die because of Bad-el's healing. I mean, it would be absolutely insane. Pair him with Mithrala, pair him with your shield champ, right? He's going to be absolutely awesome. With your Udex Artor, he will do very well as well. Here's the weird spores. With the ally attack, we're almost at boss turn count 5, doing 4 million damage, pretty much staying consistent with the turn count, which is what I expect from this team. Not really surprising us or anything like that. And then when the boss takes a turn, we're going to go ahead and end. Let's see what we can do. Let's see how much healing Bad-el can put out in comparison to Elva and Podreg, because I think, yep, okay, so there's boss turn count 5. Let's end the battle. Here we go. Here we go, guys. All right, so we did 5 million damage. All right, great. Elva, 400k. 400k healing. Again, I apologize, you can't see because of the chair, but it is 400k in healing. Bad-el, 600k in healing. Calamitous, of course, will usually steal the bacon because he has heals on his A1 and on his second form, and he just gets off so many of those that he just heals himself. Like, this healing isn't for the team. Calamitous healing is just for himself, but Bad-el still stealing the bacon here. Bad-el still stealing the bacon. I think he may be the best healer on my account. Now, where you don't want to run Bad-el is Hydra, because unless he's only as a healer, because of the amount of poisons that he puts out, they don't affect the Hydra heads. However, we can give him a run in Doom Tower, all right? Let's go ahead and say Doom Tower hard, right? Doom Tower hard. Let's try a difficult floor. Let's try a difficult floor here. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and we're going to use our Mithrala, right? Our Mithrala would be good. Our Bad-el would be good. I mean, because right now it's between Elva and Bad-el, right? So we're going to go ahead and we'll take Elva. We're going to take Bad-el as well. Where is he? Where is he? Not Arbiter. We want Bad-el. Where is my Bad-el? Okay. All right, there's Bad-el. We will also take, we probably want, we have a reviver. Do we want like a crowd control champ? Yeah, let's take Yakarl. Where is the good old Yak Man? I'm starting to have so many champions that I don't know which ones to use. Okay, Yakarl, and I think Calamitous. So what we're gonna do is we will manual this first little bit here, and then we're gonna see who exactly can do the most as far as healing is concerned? All right, let's buff with Elva. Let's buff with Mithrala there. Let's go ahead and stick out some poisons for some DPS. We're going to metamorph with Calamitous there, and then he is going to immediately put out his drop defense and his Hex. Good stuff. And then we're going to glaciate with Mr. Yakarl. This is the top floor of Doom Tower Hard this rotation, guys, so do keep that in mind as we do this showcase. We're going to go ahead and put some more poisons out there from Mithrala, another AoE, get some more healing there. And then let's go ahead and use the Blizzard Rider. Bam! Good stuff. And then we're going to go ahead, final testament there from Calamitous. Calamitous stealing the show as far as damage is concerned, guys. Here we go. Let's go ahead and put out a Hex from Mithrala. That is what we like to see. We're going to go out and put some healing, some more healing, I should say. There we go. There is another one. Oh, and Yakarl got nuked. Oh, dear. Well, that's okay, though. That is okay. We just do not want the other Rotos. Oh, no. It's time for healing. Who is going to steal the show? Oh, no. Mithrala's almost dead. Oh, no. Myth is dead. Well, guess what? That's okay, guys, because we can just pick up Mithrala right back again. We're going to go ahead and put the Malice on. Get those poisons, right? There's the Eternal Bond from Sifi. Let's go ahead and cleanse with the shield. That's what we like to see with that strength in there. That is awesome. Rotos coming in, dropping some nukes, but it's totally fine because we have so much healing on this squad, guys. So much healing on this squad. Now, I do wish I had brought some other better form of crowd control, but you know what? It is what it is at this point. It is what it is at this point, guys. Let's see. There is Mountain King doing Mountain King stuff. All right. No, Fated Destruction. I don't like that move. It's a secret move, guys. All right. There's the Mountain King just putting out slaps here. All right. Let's go ahead and let's revive Yakarl so that we can get some... Oh, nope. And he completely died. Okay. Well, here we go, guys. Here we go. Elva just being a tank for us today. That is what we like to see. That is what we like to see, but I don't think that we're actually going to be able to get through this wave. So that being said, Elva and Bad-el are the only ones who haven't died yet, which means we can go ahead and see. I needed to structure this team better. All right, we're going to go ahead and see how much healing each of them did. And once again, Bad-el-Kazar stealing the bacon. Elva with 200k. And Bad-el with 300k. Of course, we ignore Calamitous because Calamitous is just healing himself, right? But the Elva's heals and Bad-el's heals go for the whole team. Guys, what do you know? Bad-el-Kazar stealing the bacon as like the best healer on my account. Now, what I do think we should have done is something like this. So instead of taking Yakarl, we take the Calamitous, we take the Mithrala, and we go like that. And then we're gonna like take Armand's, I think. I think we should probably take Armand's. Where is... Oh, there he is. Okay, so I think we do that instead, and then we'll actually be able to clear it. So, yeah. So we're going to go... We buff up. Good. We're going to go ahead and use Armand's just as A1 there. Good stuff. We're going to go ahead and put out the Hex. We're going to go ahead and put out Poisons. There we go. We're going to go ahead and Metamorph with Clammy and put out the drop defense, and then he nukes. Bam! Nice, good stuff from Calamitous there. That's what we like to see. We do not want to have to revive anybody, but we may have to anyways. It's okay if we do. Okay, there's Armand's. We want to save his A3, sorry, his A2 for the second wave there. We're going to go ahead and use a shield. We're going to go ahead and go like that. There's some healing. There's a final testament. Good stuff. Only the Frozen Banshee is alive, and that's because she's petrification reduces damage taken. So we're going to go ahead and lock her out again. We're going to go ahead and poison her again. Let's see. We're just going to A1. The reason I'm manualing is just because I can, and that's what I feel like doing right now. So we're going to go ahead and just A1 there, and then we're going to go ahead and buff up again. Now Armand's here is going to go ahead and do the AoE with the Turb Meter Steel. That's what we like to see, and then he will go ahead and sheep that there Mountain King. Good stuff. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and put shields up. We're going to go ahead and put poisons up with the continuous heals. Calamitous goes with that. Okay, good stuff there. No, I forgot about Sifi's passive. Guys. That is unfortunate. She'll fully cleanse a Rotos. That's annoying. But it's okay, though. It's okay. So we're going to put up another Hex. We're going to put up increased defense. That's good stuff. We're going to go ahead and Do that. Okay. Oh, no. Well, Mithrala's Shield's putting in the work here. Mithrala's Shield's putting in the work here. All right, we're going to go ahead and do that. A1. We're going to go ahead and bang. Good stuff. Okay, now the Sifi is down for the count. We go ahead and steal that Rhodos' turn meter. Yep, we just needed to bring our Armons, and we were good to go for this. Let's see. Let's go ahead and put some more poisons out. Good stuff. Good stuff. A1. Calamitous is just going to wipe everybody out, so I'm not super concerned about anything right now. I think we're just going to win here. We're just going to win here. This is a more difficult wave, though. Again, top floor of Doom Tower hard. Good stuff. Good stuff. Bang. And bang. Increasing cooldown. Good stuff. Okay, there. The value of a good nuker. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and increase speed block buffs. We go ahead and steal everybody's turn meter. That's exactly what we want. Then we're going to go ahead and lock out the Gurgo there with the Armons. That's good stuff. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and put out the shield. Also good. And then the continuous heals from Mr. Bad-el-Kazar, followed by the AoE slaps from Calamitous, followed by more continuous heals from Elva, followed by more lockout from Armons, and then another Hex. Why not? Get that increased attack out there. Let's see. Let's go in with some healing from Bad-el. Let's go in with a A1 from Elva there. And then we're just going to hopefully that kills everyone. Oh, killed everybody but the Frostbringer. Okay. Then we do that. Blah, blah, blah. 2 more poisons. We may be able to kill this Frostbringer with poisons. I hope. Nope, we didn't. That's okay. Then we're going to go ahead and cleanse. We don't want drop defense on anybody. And sure, lock out with the Armons. And then Calamitous should be able to just get a nuke here. There we go. All right, good stuff. So finally, what do we have? We have Elva coming in with 400k. Bad-el once again coming in with 600k. And he's doing more than Calamitous now. So Bad-el-Kazar stealing the bacon today as the very best healer on my account, guys. The very best healer. Do not sleep on your Bad-el-Kazar. Do not sleep on your Elva. Elva comes in second, and Rector. Guys, these are some options that you can use for continuous heals. As you can see, we saw who was the best. We saw who was the worst. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What continuous heal champs do you like the most? Guys, I have been Felris, sailing the seas of Raid Shadow Legends, and I will see you in another video.